Hi, I'm Pastor Tom Eggebrecht, here for another ministry moment to help your ministries move forward according to God's will. It was 2009 and I had been in pastoral ministry for 18 years. Over the course of those 18 years, I had served 3 different congregations and was currently in my 13th year of serving my third of the 3. It was a Central City congregation that also had a day school ministry. I was the only pastor of the congregation. Little things began to bother me, and I got irritated and agitated with things that shouldn't have irritated or agitated me. I began to recognize and realize that it was time for me to actively pursue some kind of a break. My hope was to take a sabbatical. It so happened that there was a group of leaders in the congregation who recognized the value of a sabbatical. Some of them had experienced their own sabbatical by virtue of being college professors. So, we set out on a journey to plan and fund a sabbatical for me. Does any of this sound familiar to you? If you're a pastor, are you weary, worn out, tired? If you're a layperson, have you recognized any sign of weariness in your pastor? Even if you haven't, you might want to probe a little deeper. Having been the recipient of a sabbatical in my ministry, I can attest to you that it was literally life-changing. I look back at those 3 months of sabbatical as some of the best of my life. I want to encourage you to consider a sabbatical policy and plan an actual sabbatical for your pastor. I know that there can be congregational objections to sabbaticals. Sometimes people don't think sabbaticals are necessary. Pastor needs to buck it up, they say. Sometimes congregations just don't think of it as an option. They've never before heard of such a thing. Still others may think that it isn't fair. They never got a sabbatical at their job. But remember that being a pastor is a 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year kind of vocation. A pastor very rarely gets real time off. They're always on and are always available. So here's how you can truly help. First, when you call a pastor, write a sabbatical right into the call documents. After 7 years of ministry, a good biblical number, your pastor will receive a sabbatical. If you didn't do that, consider beginning right now to plan one for your pastor, even though it's not in the call documents. Then, go ahead and begin to plan, years in advance if possible, by budgeting for it each year, seeking alternate sources of funding, and planning for pulpit and visitation coverage while your pastor is away. I can tell you from experience that my own personal sabbatical brought me back rested, energetic, and raring to go. I was filled with new ideas for my preaching and teaching and had new and creative thoughts for different approaches to ministry. My former congregation would tell you that they recognized a newly refreshed person and were well served when I returned. The same can be true for you and your congregation and your pastor. If you'd like more information on planning a sabbatical, we're here to help. Connect with LCEF's Grace Place Ministries, your LCEF District Vice President, or email us at ministry.solutions@lcef.org.